as a shaman, the work that I do, when I say work, you know, what I'm here to do, yeah, or evolved into, there's two main ways that I look after people when they come and see me and help them. And one way is through guidance and clarity, and that's through sitting down and I tune into them. They put their hands on the table because their hands that represent elements, like the thumb is earth, this finger's air, fire, water and ethers. So connecting with their elements, their worlds already. And their hands and feet are uncrossed. And I ask the person to say their full name, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what language. It's more for me to connect to their frequency. And also their birth date, because the work I do is all about frequency. And once that happens, I can feel, they can usually feel me, but I can also connect to their worlds. I don't take any energy away or anything like that. Usually they even feel lighter by the time they leave and better. And in that case, I work in what's called a sacred space, which is a very pure space, which allows spirit to come through. So when spirit comes, or spirits, guides, angels, masters, because I work with, you know, the whole universes. So I could have, sometimes it can even be someone's who's passed over, but it's not my strength. It's more about getting the tools from spirit, the medicine that the person needs at the time. So it's a bit like a conventional psychic reading, but it's more than that, where they actually get practical solutions and I show them unique possibilities or change their perspective on something that spirit has told me that I relay, yeah, and just changes their whole world and they can move ahead in whatever it was the problem, or give them, as I said earlier, clarity, yeah. I get all sorts of, you know, quite a cross-section, but a large component of the work I do is about relationships and love. And sometimes what happens is that, you know, the person comes to me and says, you know, I'm blocked, or I keep repeating the same patterns, you know, they're really nice guys, but it ends up going nowhere. It's a real typical one. And then I tune in again the same way. This is for a healing. And what happens is, as I tune in, I go into what's called, or I get shown rather, their Akashic records, yeah? The Akashic records is in what's called the astral, and the astral realm, where everything is stored. And what will come up is the most important things. The work Spirit and I tend to do, we work in priority, which is the most efficient way of evolving. What that means is, say someone's come to me and, you know, she or he's had blocks in relationship and just can't get it happening. They'll show me, I'll get shown through their Akashic record, and I actually see it and feel it, like through my third eye, and I live the experience of what I'm telling the person. Most of the time it's traumas in past life relating to love, and that's the reason why we get amnesia when we're born, so we don't remember these things until it's the right time, in divine timing, yeah? You probably could have, some of you would have heard about this expression, and it truly is at the right time. Because before that it can be very damaging and very, very upsetting if you know some certain things. So the thing is that by finding out, and I ask whether or not the person wants to know what happened, and that's your prerogative. Now, by me going there, it does help, because by being in the sacred space and being in such a high frequency, it does start to activate the soul and shift things. Some people don't want to know, and that's fine. So then what happens is, whatever the trauma was, I'd know what it is. And so Then we go through it. It can be ancestral as well, patterns in the family. It can be, a few things. And then what happens is I get the person to lie on the table, face up. It's very relaxing. And I use the drum. And the whole time, Spirit is instructing me what I say, what I do. So even though I'm talking to you, I'm receiving at the same time, or I'm getting shown things. So once you're on the table, I put on these frequency chimes that are related to your chakras, on your body, under your feet, and on the top of your head. And there's 9, 7 are the same frequency as the chakras. And then you've got your Earth Star, which is under our feet, and that's what keeps us walking on Earth, otherwise we'd be floating. And then you've got the Soul Star, which is above your head, above the crown chakra. And so I get instructed on how to work with these chimes in order to start transforming the trauma, releasing it from the soul, spirit, consciousness, cellular, ancestral, which is then, this is the really exciting part. We start to retrieve back those parts of you that were stuck in that life. And you don't really, you feel lighter when you get off the table, and that processes. But the beautiful thing is you start to come back to yourself. It's a bit like a puzzle or a painting, and it's got holes in it and you can't see the whole picture. That's the same with you, with us, particularly twin flames. Now with the shamans, many shamans, we all have our own unique gifts. Some shamans can be similar, but most of us have our own unique gifts. One of them is being able to retrieve back, not just the soul, many shamans can do that. We can retrieve back consciousness, your spirit, emotionally, mentally, ancestrally, whatever's there. I've evolved into a place now where I'm able to retrieve that back for you and make you whole. And guess what happens? When you're whole, your gifts come back, love comes back, relationships, and your life starts to move forward.
Graduating Earth is a media platform providing education, awareness and insight for those seeking answers to enlightenment, spiritual teachings and life purpose as we move forward in these awakening times of soul development. Contact us at Graduating Earth on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Graduating Earth is created by Andre Lacoste. All videos are free to use and distribute.